Okay, so we made this kind of demonstration earlier in the week, but I want to kind of go through this again a little bit, maybe slower. So what we really want to worry about is composition to start off with. So drawing really, really light so that we have a chance to place it on the paper, but then still also correct our mistakes. So if you have a printout, it's a little easier because this is almost going to do like a drawing one-to-one, so basically exactly the same size. But if you don't have that, I like to just start off with shapes, and I'm going to draw this a little bit darker than I would so you can see it because it's not picking up super well. I'm kind of breaking this down into the simplest shapes, and then I'm going to go from there. Now, so that's starting it out, but I want to look at specifics. So a lot of times I will put my pencil down here and kind of get some muscle memory in the direction and get that angle of various parts of the body. So right here, I got it's going down on the belly here, going straight across. So this may be more like a rectangle or a rhombus or something than what I started off with. Then the angle of the head is a little bit pointed down. So I'm going to be drawing this nice and light so I can erase. Then I start to think about, okay, just checking a few things here. So if I look from the very tip of the tail to where the tail really starts, it's almost the same size as the body. Almost exactly the same size as the body. So if I have the body here, that's looking pretty good. Maybe I need to shorten it up a little bit. So where does his rear end come in? Comes in right in here. So there's the belly. That's basically the right proportion. So I haven't drawn anything too detailed. I can erase as much as I need now without having to damage anything. But I'm constantly comparing and bouncing around. Is the eye higher than the tail? Yes, it is. If I draw a line straight through the tail, where does that come? Well, it comes up just slightly below his throat. So I would say maybe that's a little bit, God, I've got this at an angle, maybe a little bit low. Think about how we divide up our head. If I take the head here and here, divide it in half, that's basically where the eye is. So if I divide that up, the eye is going to be right in the middle. If I divide it this way, I would say the center is basically at the bottom of the eye. So if I'm dividing this up, the bottom of the eye is right here. So center here and the bottom here. Then I got to think, okay, where's the beak? And the beak is going here. But then how far does the mouth kind of open up? And it opens up clear into the edge of the eyeball. So I'm constantly comparing. Round that off a little bit. So mine's a little dark. So it comes up a little bit more there. So I'm going to bounce back and forth. I'm going to put this branch in here. Where does that V come? Right above the beak, the Y, whatever you want to call it. And there's a little bit of space between the beak and the branch. So here the branch comes really close to his chest, but it doesn't hit his chest. Something like that. Then his leg comes out in the very back part of him. curves around a little bit. And then we've got the other leg, and then we can work on the talons here. The same thing here, it's kind of coming around. I'm just going to map this out a little bit so you can see. So this is going to be really kind of rough at the moment. So I've got this wing comes up and it comes all the way back around to just below his neck. And then I've got really 3 sections. I got 1, 2, 3. I really have 4 sections, I guess. So here's 1, and this little brighter blue comes down here. Got the feathers here, and another set of feathers, and the little tip right there. So I'm mapping all of those things out a moment before I put details in. Then I can erase some of these lines, some of these lines. And I can also map out kind of where the shadow is here. So this kind of defines his jawline. There's a kind of a distinct shadow here. There's a distinct shadow under his chest. So I get some of those things drawn out. And start to refine things. But that's basically the start of my drawing right there. It's pretty rough, pretty light, kind of mapping out where everything goes. Then, when I start to render, I get a lot more detailed. So, you can see that I got my pencil lines going in the direction of the hair, or the fur, not fur, but the feathers. Each one of these, I can see that there's like 10 different feathers, and so that's what I want to try to do right here. And if you notice that it kind of goes, each one goes from dark to light, and then it goes from dark to light and dark to light. So you're looking for things like that. Your bird may be different than mine, but those are the things that we want to look for. So I would recommend maybe a mechanical pencil, because I can get smaller areas and I don't have to keep sharpening that ebony pencil. The ebony pencil is going to be good for some things. I think a mechanical pencil is going to be a little bit better for this. So I'm fading it out. And it looks like I'm going back and forth, but I'm really going in small little circles to avoid pencil lines. Okay? Still doesn't show the blackness very well here. But so I gotta spend some time on these talons down here. I want to look and get this texture of the tree, so I'm just scribbling a little bit and leaving lights and dark spaces, because we've got lights and darks here as well. So anyway, takes a while. This is I've probably got an hour and 15 minutes in this already. So if you're going to try to just crank it out, get it done in 10 minutes, and then get ticked off because it doesn't look like mine, then it's because you got more time to put in on it. It's a little tedious, but I want to just keep layering and layering and layering. So big thing is, make sure that we're getting good composition, that we're not going to run the tail off the end, or it's going to be really tiny down here in the right corner. So kind of fill in the page. Once you get that laid out, I can erase this all pretty quickly if it wasn't in the right size. But it looks kind of like a mess, but really that's the way this one looked at the very beginning. So I'm just taking my time and really looking at values. I mean, there's a lot of little subtleties right here. From underneath his chin, you can see there's a little darker right in here, there's darker right in here, a little bit in here, so that's going to set the eye back, give the forehead a little bit more pop. A little shadow right in here. It's got a little divot in the head. So those are the small things that I want you to look for, and you're going to end up having a nice picture. Okay, looking forward to seeing what you got.